Hello, everyone. My name is Jason, and I am here for Daily Dose of Hope, day 360. Nice to meet you, and nice to see you again. I am a channeler, and a Daily Dose of Hope is just that. It's an attempt to find that middle path between the two polarities. So at this moment, we are in a very intense time when the polarities, so both sides, are very charged. And you might ask yourself, what does that mean that the polarities are charged? And so what I would say is that, let me find a good yin and yang symbol. Hold on a second. What that means is that when you say a certain word, for example, that word will be charged. Hold on, let me, okay, here we go. So, for example, here we go. The way that you know that we are living in a polarized time is that there are certain words that you can say in a conversation that will make the whole conversation shift, and then everyone will get very, very emotional. And those words, you all know which words those are, and you know which words to avoid or which words to try out. And that's how you know. That's how you know you're in a polarized time. And I know that the time that I grew up in, it wasn't polarized. So I know a time when it wasn't polarized. So, and by polarized, yeah, that's what we mean. That both sides, we have the yin and the yang, and they're both very, very energized. And that is by design, as my guides have said. They are polarized and they're energized so that we will find it very uncomfortable to be in either side, and find it easier to be in the neutral path where we're not getting involved in all of the emotional stuff that's going on, and that we're able to kind of stand in this middle line here. See, there's a middle line here. And we're able to walk that middle line in between the two polarities, and we're not affected by all of those charged emotions. And one of the things that I've learned doing this course, not the Course of Miracles, well, I've learned it from the Course of Miracles as well, but from these daily doses of hope, is that things that, for example, I'm talking about now, or I talked about maybe 6 months ago, words that were the charged words. When I look back at them, they're not charged anymore. You say those words now and there's no meaning to it. That's how meaningless it is. What is everyone fighting about, right? Fighting over meaningless words that are charged with emotion. And these emotions are investments. Our emotions are very powerful creative tools that if we're not using them, and if we jump into fear and anger, if we jump into uncontrollable emotions, which are in the two polarities, then someone else can use them. And that's what's been happening. And that's why it's so polarized as well. So what's happening is it's a complete balance. And so there's just two ways of looking at it, right? So one way of looking at it is that everything is so polarized so that the bad people can feed off of the energy, right? One way. The other way is to think everything is so polarized because to allow us to realize how silly it all is, and to move into the middle path and realize that, by getting really emotional about these things, what are we solving? What are we helping? Rather than getting emotional, what we could do is just take a few steps back and try to see the whole picture, and do a little bit of the waiting game too. Also understanding that we don't really know what everything's for. That's another Course in Miracles thing. I don't know what everything is for, right? And we tend to jump in and try to say, well, this is this and this is that, and that person's good, that person's bad, and this means this, and we don't know. And the people that are telling you that they know don't know either. Because no one really can really predict the future. So, I mean, we see all these people that are preaching emotions, very strong emotions about certain things. Be careful about it. I guess that's what the whole daily dose of hope is about. And just be careful. I mean, there is truth in everything. Always look for it, but always understand that if someone is selling you fear, then you might want to second guess it a bit. You might want to say, this is fear. I don't know if I want fear, because whatever we focus on, we create more of. And so, but we also create the fear. So yeah, there you go. My site, Experiences in Channeling. I offer spiritual guidance here. There's 3 different types. There's one question session where you just send me the question and I channel it for you. A 30-minute session, which is a one-on-one session, 60-minute session. And yeah, so if you have any questions that you'd like to ask your guides, or that you'd like to ask the universe, please, contact me. And I have testimonials below. I also have some offerings here So offerings here. And what I offer is, I have a mug, if you're interested in mugs. And the mug says the light has already won, you just haven't noticed yet. And also I have this membership here. That's a subscription. Every month we have 2 get-togethers, and it's a live Q&A channeling, and I channel the answers to your questions. And in addition to this, you have access to the archives. So these are the archives, over 50 plus hours of channeling and about 30 sound baths. And the channelings are all here. You just click on it and you get the video plus all of the transcripts of it. And yeah, so if you're interested, that's there. And all right. So what I'd like to, I just start with the Course in Miracles, since I'm going through this again. And I'm going through it. What's interesting about now, and I think this is something that we all kind of learn on the spiritual path, is that sometimes we get too close to things and we can't really see what everything is. We tend to kind of get, well, let me give you an example. I was doing the Course in Miracles for 6 years, doing the lessons 6 years straight, and I found myself getting into a place where I would get into arguments about it. I would get into arguments about different things, and I would say, no, the Course says that this and this and this. And when I heard myself saying that, I thought, wait a second, this is what I was trying to get away from, away from judgments, away from judging situations. I don't know what this is for, but yet somehow I think that I know what the Course is about. And the Course says this, the Course says that, and I was turning it into a religion. It's not a religion, it's just a way of thinking. It's a kind of a way of changing your perception. And so I was getting too close to it. And I think for me, that's very dangerous. I think it's important to be able to take a step back, and say, okay, so this Course says all these things, but maybe that's not true. For example, to be that open, to be able to do that and not be so stuck into it. Oh, the Course is this, so you have to do this. Nah, because then that's the complete opposite of what this Course is teaching anyway. So, but I wanted to, so I'm going through it again. And what's nice about going through it again is that in this kind of, a little bit with a step back, is that you can kind of see a broader picture. Once you've gone through the lessons a few times, read the book a few times, so you kind of see a general overview. And one of the things that I thought about this lesson here, I have no neutral thoughts. This lesson was really confusing for me for the longest time. Like, what the heck does this mean? It's like, yeah, I did not understand what it meant. And but yeah, here it is. So your thoughts create your reality. That's it. So your thoughts create your reality. So if a thought can create a reality, it is not neutral. And I think that's what this lesson is saying. Hold on, I have to plug my computer in. All right, we're about to lose juice, lose energy. So yeah, so that's the idea. If how can our thoughts be neutral if we are using our thoughts to create the world that we see? And another way that they say neutral is idle. We think that we have idle thoughts, but no, our thoughts are creating our world, and there's only 2 thoughts that are available, right? Peace or war. Thoughts of love or thoughts of fear. That's it. And everything else is just accoutrements, right? And so there you go. So where are your thoughts? Are you in love? Are you in fear? And I think this is a wonderful lesson in that sense, because it just allows you to take a look at your thoughts. Where are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Are you thinking fear thoughts? Well, then you're in fear, and you're going to create fear, and that fear will create war, because that energy of fear can be surfed by other beings who know how to use energy, and it will be used for war, and you will be contributing to the wars that are going out throughout our society. Is that what you want, right? And if it is, that's fine. If it isn't, that's fine. But that's the power that we have as humans. Hey, Kathy. And I wanted to share something. So I was channeling my guides today, and this is what they said. And I thought this was a good quote. So I put here you go. Let's see if you can see this. Let me make it maybe a little bit bigger. But it says, in order to invest in the future, you must first divest yourself of the past. And I thought that was a really good way of putting it. And I've been finding myself divesting myself of the past. And the way that this happens in your life is your passions will change. So for me, for example, I was very passionate about music composition. I'm a composer. I write music. I write kind of I was trained in kind of the classical style of writing, and I was very enamored of writing or classical music composition ever since I was 14. I think I was 14. I had a dream, and in the dream I was writing music like Bach, and that was ever since then. I thought, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be. And I've always found it to be very, very mysterious and very interesting how you're creating music from nothing. And but a few years ago I just lost my passion for it. I still do it, and I still enjoy it, but it doesn't have the same passion. It's not this thing that I have to do and that everything depends on. It's just something that I do. And my guides were saying that that's how you divest yourself of the past. Your passions are your keys. Your passions are the catalysts that show you where you need to go. And so I was extremely passionate about this stuff. And that was because I needed to learn the technique. I needed to learn how to make a piece of music, how from beginning to end, and how to make something like that. And and I did it. And so that's what I needed for my life, for my mission. And I had always assumed that if you start writing classical music, then the goal is to become a successful classical music composer, and what does that mean? And everyone has all these different things. Well, you have to be performed by all of these big ensembles and famous, have many recordings and yeah. And so that's what I was kind of aiming for. But what they had said is that, but that wasn't the reason that we wanted you to do it. It wasn't to become a successful composer. It was to learn how to compose, to put that in my tool belt for when I'll need it in the future. And so now the channeling is another aspect of that. This is, in the future, all of these things will come together in a certain way, but for the time being they're kind of separate, disparate, and they're just, you learn them and you put them in your belt. But my passion was allowing me to divest myself of the past. So in order to invest in the future, you must first divest yourself of the past and all of the things that come along with that. And so another aspect of that is I teach guitar as well. And so I'm I have to practice every day to keep up my chops and stuff like that. But they said that will also fall away as well, because that is also just something that I had I'll put in my toolbox, but that's not the goal. And so I asked them, what the heck is the goal then? And they said that when you do, for example, creativity in this very, very dense third dimensional plane, it's not easy to be creative in this plane, because we have all kinds of different things. Like, for example, you're not going to make a lot of money doing it unless you're on the top 1 or 2%. That's one. Like, if you want to make a lot of money, go do a job that makes a lot of money. And you're not. It's kind of a fringe in a sense, and so. And I lost my where I was going with this, but the whole idea is that what am I trying to say? So yeah, it's difficult because there's that. So it's not something that people, for example, classical music composition. If you say you're a classical music composer, they're like, yeah, well, good luck finding a job. What good are you doing for society? And so as a creator, you have all of those voices in your head all the time because you've heard them so many times. And then, also people have a thing about classical music, like, ooh, that's just like, rich people music, people who wear furs and go to operas, and ew, all of these different things. And they're all in my head because people have told me so many times all of these different things. And for me, it was just purely, I like Bach's music and I really love that world that he created. But in order to create that music in this dense third dimension, you have to overcome all of those voices that are all in your head, and they're speaking all the time. Why are you doing this? You're never going to be good. You're never going to be successful. It's all going to, why don't you get a real job? All of these different voices, and you have to fight with them. And you have to, kind of tell them like, okay, guys, I hear you. I got you, but I'm going to do this anyway. I got it. So that struggle to do that in this world, in this third dimension where it's all focused on, the job and the work and the money. And if it's not making money, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you spending all of this time that you could be spending, making money, and yeah, it's like, I don't know. I felt compelled to do it. I'm not really sure, but I feel like I feel like I have to do this, and that's the answer. I don't know for sure, and it's just something that I feel compelled to do. And I think a lot of artists, it's the same. We just feel compelled to do it. It's not a logical thing. It's just my heart's kind of saying do it. And if I don't do it, I feel sad. I feel like I'm missing something. So that's, it's a calling. So there you go. But in the third dimension, it's difficult. That's what I'm saying. And so it is very similar to the spiritual path, doing something creative on the third dimension. And so what I'm getting to is what the guide said about this, and is that training that we're doing on this third dimension is not for nothing. This training is once the third dimension, once it starts to open up a bit and we move more into a higher dimensional paradigm, a different paradigm, then those kind of lockdown on our creativity will be alleviated, and we will be able to create like that. But the people who have really gone through this creative process on the third dimension, we really understand the creative process. And so we will be able to truly create very, very massive things, epic things, because we understand the nature of creativity, and we've been training, we've been cutting our teeth in one of the most insane, polarized worlds imaginable, and that in that world we're still able to create. So that's what we're doing. And we will be called on to create, and we will be called on to teach how to create, because many will not know, because they have been in another world, and they would have not even known that world existed. And we'll say, oh yeah, this is where we live. We live in this world. So hey, we'll show you what it's all about. So I wanted to share that for those artists out there that are struggling with all of that kind of, what am I doing? Where am I? What's the point of all this? And there you go. That's the point. We don't really know exactly how it's going to fit in, but the guide just said it's all going to fit in a certain way. And for example, music is one of the things. Music will be used as a creative to create structures. For example, the pyramid. For example, music will be used to create different things. Everything is built on frequency, and if you're able to understand how to put music together in a certain way, how to structure music, so music composition, then you will also be able to create buildings as well, create structures not in this third dimension, but I hope so in this third dimension, but they're saying in the next paradigm. So yes, that's my spiel. I've gone on for quite a long time. So I'm going to go into a channeling, and before I do, in order to invest in the future, you must first divest yourself of the past. So I just want to repeat that. I really like that phrase. There are many different things that we might be holding on to, and in order to get to the future, we need to just let go. And yeah, so I'm going to go into a channeling now. Hold on, let me figure out how to. Okay, like this. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go into a channeling for today, April 19th? April 18th, 2025. One thing that I just went, sorry, I got so much stuff to talk about, right? I went to the acupuncturist today because I've been having always the same problem. And and same with all acupuncture, with all problems, it's all, the flow gets stuck. And but the woman next to me, she had shingles, and I've been hearing that a lot when I go to the acupuncturist. A lot of people are getting shingles, and it's a pretty common thing here in Japan these days. They even made a medicine for it that the government is handing out to the people. But it's really interesting. It's not interesting, but yeah, it's just I had never even heard of it until a few years ago. Now it's just like everywhere you go, you hear about it. And it doesn't sound very good. I mean, it kind of sounds like roofing terms. Like, yeah, I put up the shingles yesterday, I think they got to change the name of it. But anyway, There you go. But acupuncture, it seems like the woman, so they were asking her how it's going, and she said, "Oh, because of the treatments, it's a lot better than before. The pain is gone." So, if you are suffering with something like that, I do recommend acupuncture. Side effect is you get sleepy. Maybe you'll have a good rest. So, here we're going to go into a channeling, and I'm going to ask what they have to say for today, April 18th, 2025. Here we go. Greetings, we are Archangel Michael. You can call us Mike if you'd like. We can call us whatever you'd like. We are an archetype. We are not exactly who you assume we might be. We are an archetype. We are a collection of energies, as you are as well. You exist here as a human being, but you also exist as a light body. You exist as a part of God. And this human being aspect of you is one small aspect of you, one pinpoint of the many aspects of who you are. And it is similar for us. We are nowhere higher than you or lower than you. We are the same as you. This similar situation. But we are existing at this moment within our light body, and so we are able to see things from a different perspective, and so we're able to give you a different perspective than you have, because you have the street view and we have the overview. You have the boots on the ground view, whereas we have the view of the entire planet and of everything that's going on, and we can see the energies and how they're shifting and changing they are throughout your whole world at this moment. Many things are starting to shift and change, and one of the main things that's starting to shift and change is you. You are starting to shift and change. You are starting to see the world as it really is, and that is a beautiful thing for us to see, because once you start to see the world as it is, it becomes quite simple. And all of the details and all of the different things and all of the things that worry you and make you regret fall away, and you see exactly how everything is moving and what everything is for. And this is wonderful for us as well, because it will be so much easier for us to help you, to guide you, and so much easier for you to find your path. At the moment, there are so many different things, so many obstacles in your path. There are so many blockages to your sight of what is truly going on around you, that it is hard to maneuver. And that is why you need us so much to tell you, look, turn left over there or turn right over there. This is, we're just here helping you to see your way through. But as you start to see, a lot of you are starting to see what this world is really made of. And we're very happy about this. This is a wonderful time. This is a time of celebration for all of us, because we can see that you've made so much progress and that you are maneuvering your way through this polarity. As this being said, yes, the polarities are charged because this era of polarities is over. What you're seeing is a playing out of things that is already finished, and you are going through the motions of this playing out. And that is why this time feels so slow and so strange for many of you, because it is not really time in the way that you understand time. Time stopped. You already arrived at your goal, and now you're just reviewing how you got to this goal. And that is what this time is. And it is the time of remembering, that you're not from here, and that you're not a part of this place, and that you are made of love. And that's what this time is. And so all of the things that you're seeing playing out in front of you are plays, you might say. They're actors on a stage that are there to help you to understand and help you to remember that you're made of love and that none of this is real. That's what this is all about. This is a play. This is an act. This is a scene from a play. This is an amazing drama, one of the most amazing dramas that's playing out throughout the universe. And that's why there are so many beings watching how you react. They're not watching the play on the stage. They're watching you watching the actors. They're watching you, and they're seeing how you react to all of this, and they're seeing how you are starting to see the seams, and you're starting to see how the stages are set up, and you're starting to see the stage hands walking out, and you're able to walk backstage, and you're able to see what's really going on. And this is a beautiful time. What a beautiful time for all of you. That is how close you are all to the end of this movie, to the end of this play, because once you understand the end, once you understand and remember who you are, that you're just watching a play and that you're not really there, then the play ends. All right. Whew. Nose gets itchy. All right, guys, so thanks for listening in. I hope you guys are hopeful. I'm going to stop there for today and hope that the pocket of peace from yesterday is still kind of shining its light throughout everything. And I hope you're hopeful, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. And remember, in order to invest in the future, you have to first divest yourself of the past and also go beach. All right, guys, so ciao for now. Thanks, Kathy, for joining in, and everyone else as well.